Hello students. Today's topic is environmental stressors. This topic is for the students of 6th semester education general. It's a topic from the paper 6.02. The name of the paper is Environmental Education and Population Education. I have selected this particular topic from unit 4 of the paper. The name of the unit is Environmental Stressors and Disaster Management. But for today's discussion, I have selected the topic Environmental Stressors. Today's discussion will cover what is the meaning of environmental stressors. Then we'll discuss about what are the types of environmental stressors. And lastly, we'll discuss about how can we deal with the problems of environmental stressors. See, I have already uploaded the study material for this particular topic in our college web portal, that is www.S.B.Deorah.online.in. You go through the study material, please, and I hope today's discussion will help you in proper understanding of the topic. Now, let's start. Now, let's start with the meaning of environmental stressors. I think all of you have heard about the word stress. We very often mention about physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress. But what is the meaning of the word stress? The term stress means hardship or constraining influence of pressure. Now, environmental stressor means any agent or factor which causes stress on the environment. Environmental stressor may be defined as the pressure on the environment caused by human activities or by any other natural activities. It is also called as the pressure to the environment by any sudden event or phenomenon causing injury, loss of life, damage to property, social or economic disruption, or environmental degradation. Stressors that are found in our surroundings are called environmental stressors. So we can say that any factor or agent causing stress to the environment is environmental stressors. It adversely affects the life or create health hazards of any living organism, including plants. Okay, now after we have discussed about the meaning of environmental stressors, we are going to discuss about the types of environmental stressors. What are the different types of environmental stressors? You see, there are two main types of environmental stressors. The first one is natural stressors and the second one is man-made environmental stressors. Now, what is natural stressors? Natural stressors are those natural factors which causes stress on the environment. The example of these natural environmental stressors are earthquake, tsunami, volcanic eruption, etc. After that, the second type, the man-made environmental stressors. Sometimes human activities also leads to environmental stressors. The stress that are the results of human activities are man-made environmental stressors. So the example of man-made environmental stressors are sound pollution, air pollution, then water pollution, noise pollution, etc. All these pollutions come under the category of man-made environmental stressors. You see, the natural stressors are again subdivided into planetary stressors and extraplanetary stressors. Now, planetary stressors. Okay, the most disastrous event of our planet Earth can be included under this planetary stressors. Now, on the basis of the sources of origin of the extreme events, planetary stressors are again divided into two categories. The categories are terrestrial stressors and atmospheric stressors. Terrestrial stressors. What are terrestrial stressors? These stressors include those extreme events which are caused by the forces evolved from within the Earth. Now, the factors causing these events are hidden deep inside the Earth. We cannot observe the causes of these events, but we can see the effects caused by these extreme events. Volcanic eruption, earthquake, landslide are the extreme events which are caused by the extreme conditions of the interior of the Earth. Now, these have their worst effect on the buildings, roads, dams, breezes, etc. Now, atmospheric stressors. Atmospheric stressors are related to weather and climatic extreme events. Now, these atmospheric stressors are again subdivided into two categories. They are abnormal or infrequent event, and the next category is cumulative atmospheric stressors. Now, abnormal events. These events last for a very short period of time, such as tropical cyclone, severe lightning, hailstorms, etc. After that, the next type, cumulative atmospheric stressors. You see, these are the events which are caused due to the cumulative effects of weather events that prevail for a prolonged period of time. For example, flood, drought, heat wave, cold wave, etc. Now you see, any hot day may not become hazardous, and then it cannot be termed as an environmental stressor. But when very hot days prevail for a longer period of time, it may cause environmental hazard like heat waves, and then it can be termed as an environmental stressor. Now we are going to discuss about another type of environmental stressor. This type is called extraplanetary stressor. Now, the disasters caused by collision between Earth and other extraplanetary bodies of space like asteroids, meteoroids, and comets are called extraplanetary stressors. You see, the shift in the Earth's axis of rotation may be a cause of collision, and this collision produces enormous dust, then it produces hurricane, then it can change the sea level, it may bring about change in the climate, then it may give rise to volcanic eruption, etc. The astrologers can predict about the occurrence of this type of collision, but we cannot do anything. Nothing can be done to prevent these hazards. This type of environmental stress may bring about damage to human life and the environment as a whole, and not at the local level but at the global level. Now we'll discuss about the man-made environmental stressors, means the man-made factors of environmental stressors. You see, environmental degradation is also caused by human activities. These human activities can again be classified into three categories. The human activities which causes environmental stressors can be classified into three categories, and these categories are physical stressors, chemical stressors, and social stressors. The first category is physical stressors. The factors causing damage or threat to the environment as a result of human activity, such as landslide, earthquake, accelerated soil erosion, etc., are called physical stressors. Then, chemical stressors. Toxic chemicals, poisonous gas, nuclear reactor plants, leakage of gas and crude oil, etc., are included under this chemical stressors. Then, the third category is social stressors. Under this, downfall in moral and religious values, overpopulation, then disorganization of society, use of chemical weapons during war. Now, the ways and means for prevention of environmental stressors. Here we'll discuss about the steps that can be taken for prevention of these environmental stressors. The first point is control of population. You see, the continuous increase in population leads to serious environmental problems. For this, efficient measures should be taken. Steps like economic measures, then family planning measures, administrative measures, etc. should be taken in this respect. Then the second point is restricted use of pesticides. The excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides by the farmers in agriculture has resulted in the degradation of environmental quality and altered the ecological balance. So, the use of chemicals and pesticides should be restricted. Now, the third point is afforestation. See, planting trees is a great step towards the protection of our environment. It is very much important to plant trees because without plant and trees, we will not be able to survive. Okay, now the next step that can be taken for prevention of environmental stressor is use of solar energy. Solar energy creates clean and renewable power from the sun. It benefits the environment. With the use of solar energy, we can replace the fossil fuels like coal and gas for generation of electricity. These fossil fuels produces air pollution, then water pollution and land pollution. So we can use solar energy instead of these fossil fuels. After that, role of the teacher. The teacher must develop a sense of appreciation of natural resources in mind of the students. And he can also create awareness about the environmental problems in their mind. Then the next step is legal steps. The government must take some initiative or they can take some legal action to protect the environment and to protect the forest and to protect the wildlife. Our next point is pollution-free vehicles. Means we should make use of pollution-free vehicles to prevent environmental stressors. To make the air clean and pollution-free, it is required to use eco-friendly or environment-friendly vehicles that produces less harmful gas and will not be harmful to the environment. After that, the next step that we can take for prevention of environmental stressor is conservation of natural resources. We need to conserve our natural resources because they are limited only. Our natural resources are very limited. So, we need to take proper care that we use them properly and we do not waste them. After that, the next step we should take is rapid growth of industrialization should be stopped. You see, rapid growth of industrialization leads to destruction of forests, then it leads to unplanned urbanization, then water wastage, etc. So, for this purpose, social management should be improved in the process of urbanization. Solved in a global way. Means we should try to solve the problems in a global way. All human beings on earth are facing these problems. Some environmental problems like global warming, then acid rain, then destruction of biodiversity, etc. are not merely national issues, but these are global problems. And so these problems we try to solve in a global way. After that, the next step that we can take for prevention of environmental stressor is close relationship between man and nature. The relationship between man and nature has been changing with the changes of time and with development of science and technology. Now, it is important for man to understand how nature is important for us. Man needs to develop his love and respect for the nature and for the living things also, because the environment is very much important for us, and without nature we cannot survive on earth. So these are the steps that we can take for prevention of environmental stressors. And with this we have come to the end of today's discussion. Thank you all for listening.